One of the key challenges you need to think about when undertaking a dissertation or research project is how to manage your time appropriately. You don't want to be in a position where you end up rushing it at the last minute or even handing it in late. So there are several things you can do to help you manage your time, and these include developing a realistic timetable which you try and stick to, developing strategies for working to make sure you meet your timetable, and also being aware that there can be unexpected delays and trying to factor time for these. So in order to manage your time appropriately, it's important that you develop a clear and realistic timetable. This should include all stages of the dissertation, from formulating your research questions, carrying out the literature review, undertaking your ethics approval, accessing and collecting your data, analysing the information you've collected, and finally writing up your dissertation. So you also need to make sure you leave time to check and proofread your dissertation. It's really off-putting for markers to read sloppy dissertations with mistakes in them. So make sure you leave time for that. So you need to ensure that you develop writing strategies as well to help you get through your dissertation and manage your time effectively. So for instance, it's common for students to suffer from writer's block and try to make everything perfect straight away. This isn't going to be the case. Writing is a process, and it's important to get things down on paper and develop them through a process of drafting and redrafting. So you need to use strategies to make sure you get started and use your time effectively. These can include things like free writing, writing down whatever comes into your head regarding the topic, breaking down your work into manageable chunks, and also setting yourself targets within certain time periods, making sure you monitor distractions. So thinking about what slows you down. For instance, is it worth putting your mobile phone in another room while you're writing your dissertation? Think about where you work best and when you work best. Are you most productive earlier in the day? Are you most productive later in the day? Is it in the library or at home? These are all things to consider.
So one of the most important things to do when thinking about the dissertation process is to think clearly and strategically about your supervision meetings. You're probably going to have 6 or 7 opportunities to meet your supervisor, so you need to make sure that you can get the most out of those sessions. One way of doing this is to prepare for the meeting and make a log of what comes out of the meeting itself. This will allow you to see quite clearly what you want to do with the meeting, but also give you a concrete suggestion of what to do after. And you can prepare for your meeting by answering 3 questions. What is the meeting going to be about? What specific questions do I need to ask and what needs to be answered? And what do you need to do after the meeting?